Hi, Teresa.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I was just
That's
telling
good.
everybody how I'm so excited that you're our guest today.
Well, I'm excited to be here or be there or where.
I love how, like, with technology, you can just be anywhere.
Isn't it wonderful? It made everything not so bad as it used to be, right?
I know. You can just be anywhere at any time.
That's right.
No
That's
flying
right.
required.
That's true. That's true.
So now that I have Teresa on with me, I was saying how this is our 10th episode, and I can't believe we've already interviewed 9 other women, and Teresa, you're our 10th guest. So
Congratulations.
thank you. We've learned so much. We've heard so many incredible journeys and stories. And what I love about Hair and Happiness is that everybody might have a different story that led them
Mhm.
to wigs. But in all of them, I love to see how wigs have been such a positive influence in people's lives. And it's just so encouraging to see that, like, you, for example, and me, for example, like, we work in the industry, so you can see how your work is really affecting people's lives in a positive way. And it's so, so nice.
And that's so true. Every day, someone has the opportunity to make themselves feel better just by wigs or hair pieces or whatever. And that's what I love about what I do.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just tell everybody your name and where you're from. I don't know if you're from Arizona, so I'll be learning a lot too today. So okay, your name and where you're from.
I'm Teresa Lane. I'm originally from Indiana, believe it or not. But right now I'm living in Las Vegas. So it's a big change, but nice.
Nice. And I'm assuming it's very hot.
Today it's not so bad. It's only 97.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I think here too, we were talking yesterday about how we had like this huge downpour of rain. And so now it's not so hot, but.
Yeah, yeah. So I know what you mean. But
Okay. So tell everybody what you do for work. Cause that's, I think, what's making you such a special guest is your line of work. Not only that, but also your personal connection to wigs, but let everybody know what you do.
okay, I design hair pieces and wigs for HairUWear, and I've been doing it over 20 some years. Prior to that, I did it with another company. But when I joined HairUWear, it was an important time because we actually were developing hairpiece line for the individual. Let's say, somebody is losing hair on top and
Mm-hmm.
needs something to cover it up, or they have 5 minutes to get ready for work and they want to throw on a hairpiece just so they can go. These are the types of things that I actually did, and I was more involved in I always say, and as you will, Christina, KISS, keep it simple, sweetie.
Mm-hmm.
If it takes you forever to use a hairpiece, then that hairpiece isn't for you. You need to be able to keep it and do it as simple as possible.
So do you remember your very first interaction with wigs? I know you were licensed or are licensed, so can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I went to beauty school in Indianapolis, Indiana, Speedway, and my first actual job was at Odell Beauty Salon that actually had about 18 hairdressers.
Wow.
And of course, since I was so new, I got to do the things that most people don't like to do. And that was that a wig boutique. And
Uh-huh.
I was lucky enough to actually style them every single day. And it's funny because I always said, oh, there's no way I'm ever going to do wigs again. And as I say many times, God had another plan for me.
Right.
Because after being in the hair industry for, I don't know, I'm not going to say how long time, I was introduced to a vice president of design in one of the wig companies. And I thought, well, if I get the job, I get the job. Well, guess what? I got the job working with the designer of a wig company. And then later, 4 years later, I ended up coming to HairUWear. So as I said, God had another plan for me.
And how do you feel at the time that you started working with wigs and then you were needing to design wigs? Like, what were wigs and hair pieces like at that time?
Well, that's a good question because, I grew up in the 60s, 70s. So hair pieces were in at that point, and then they went out. When I started designing hair pieces and wigs, they were totally different. I mean, they weren't heavy. I mean, the ones that I used to style all the time, they were very heavy, had a lot of hair. And you put it on and you look like you had something on your head. Nowadays, they're lighter, they're freer, they're much better than what they were. The fiber is so much better because you could curl it or you could straighten it, which you couldn't do before. So it's really revolved in different ways. Even the cap construction, it has different cap construction. So in return, what happens is it looks nicer, it feels nicer. I mean, if you unfortunately have lost hair and you need to wear a wig, whether it's cancer or not, which I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, thank God. And the new wigs are much softer to the scalp. They are easier to do. They look more natural. Like here, I can show you. This is nice. You can see there's thin elastic. You can see that there's holes so it breathes. And even has this comfort band in the front so it's soft to your head. So there's a lot of different things that we've done.
Definitely. And do you remember like some of maybe like your very first piece that you designed, or like maybe your most memorable piece that you designed?
Oh, there's so many. Let's see. The very first one I designed was what we used to call a poof, or some people might know it as a style maker. Right. And in fact, it was different because it had hair going around it on an elastic band, but you were able to move the hair. Let me show you. Oops. I'll just show you. It's much easier than trying to explain. You see here, there's hair and there's elastic, okay? Well, you can take it, the way it's designed, you could move hair from one side to the other, right? Just because of the construction. And it was exciting because we've sold millions and millions and billions of these. And it gives the customer something fast to do. I always tell people, if you nothing else in your purse, you need a poof or a style maker. And I love that. I just put mine on a clip, wrapped it around because my hair is a little bit shorter, and wrapped it around again. And here we go.
So I'm going to have you show that again, like a little bit closer on the camera, because I love that little hack. And I see Monica's on here. She was one of our guests for Hair and Happiness. Hi, Monica. But she had this really cool idea too. She just takes the wrap and she puts the clip over it, and it just looks like your hair. You put a clip on with it. But I love how, Teresa, you actually wrap it around the clip when you're holding a claw clip and you press it.
I wrap it around the actual clip, one T. Yeah. And then I take it and I twist it, and it goes around the top where the actual clip is. And then what you do is you put it at the bottom. There we go.
So you kind of like put it over the little hooks.
Yes. And so that way, when you look at it, as you can see, it kind of makes it look like it's part of the clip. See?
Like you actually made it into a clip-on pony in seconds. I love that.
Exactly.
So you guys see how Teresa's brain works. You're so creative and so talented. I
Thank
had
you.
somebody here say that their hair is buzzed, so they can't wear those pieces. But you know what you could do is if you wanted the look of a hairpiece, you can
Mm-hmm.
get maybe a longer wig that you can kind of put up like loosely, and then you can still wear the hairpieces with your wig. I love
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
Exactly. That is very true. A lot of times you can use top of the head pieces. Like right now I have a top tier, which you can see.
Mm-hmm.
It's longer and all you do is you could do this and it goes from side to side.
I like that construction because if you have hair loss closer to the temples, I know when I had Jay, like I lost a lot of my hair right here, which is like after you have a baby, you just have that
Right.
shedding. But that piece covers the sides really, really well.
But see, you can see it's just almost like a bob and it just gives you an instant hairdo. And then
Instant,
if you
yeah.
wanted to, you could actually take it back and I could actually put this on here.
You just totally changed your whole hair color. Like right before our eyes.
I know. This is one of
I
my
love
bad
it.
habits.
Are you going to slowly go to that hair color? I know you've been changing your color a lot.
Oh, well, that's a good question. I've been, as you know, I was a redhead for so long that I got tired of coloring my hair because out here the sun really makes the color not stay in.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to go gray. So I'll have to show you. This is how I looked with my gray hair. And then
I'm
I'll
going to
show you.
answer Stephanie. Yeah, I'm going to answer Stephanie's question here. She's saying,
Okay.
she asked if the top piece was not a full wig. So it's not a full wig, but I love that Teresa showed such a short length because you can get a wig that's a bob and then you can still put it in the updo. So if you don't have anything to clip a top piece onto, then you can just get a light bob wig and then you can still put it in an updo, especially during the summer if you want the hair off of your neck. You can just
Exactly.
add one of these pieces and just clip it in and go, and it like gets the hair off of your neck. What style is this that you're showing?
This is actually Sparkle Elite. And Sparkle Elite has what they call a lace front. So you can see it actually looks like it's coming out of my scalp. You can pull it back, which a lot of people like to do. And I always like to put it behind my ears. When you put on a wig, sometimes you feel like it's too big for you. So the very first thing you want to do is just pull it behind your ears and then start picking at it, so to speak. And
So
as
cute.
you can see, this is how my gray hair was.
Yeah, I saw you with the gray hair.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is.
so I have a comment here. Somebody's saying it's hard to find local stylists that cut alternative hair, which is so true.
True.
She said recommendations if one needs modifications. I actually love that HairUWear certifies stylists.
Yes.
They have an education program that helps regular stylists because a lot of stylists know very little about wigs. It's very foreign. You would think that they would just learn it in hair school, but the chapter about wigs is so small.
So small.
And I think HairUWear as a brand is trying really hard to change that, working with schools in their curriculums to add a more education about wigs, but also after somebody is licensed and they're already in their salon, HairUWear takes them through these courses where they get hands-on training and they get certified. So I would actually go on HairUWear.com and look for like a salon locator. You can also maybe call customer service at HairUWear and they can maybe direct you, or you can DM me and I can try to find out based on your zip code if there's a wig shop or a stylist in your area that's certified and can help you. So feel free to DM me and then I can hopefully send you in the right direction.
That's true, because actually I used to be doing training. That was one of the things I developed when I came to HairUWear was the actual educational program, which you remember, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it's ages ago. And that is true, that we teach you everything you need to know. That is the stylist. So definitely you can trust them.
I know. I love how they even can take, like, let's say you're a petite cap size and
Mm-hmm.
we, obviously have a lot of average cap sizes because, like, hence the name average. A lot of people end up fitting in the average cap size. So
Right.
majority of the selection is average, but let's say you're a petite, or the shape of your head is making an average cap size feel really large in the crown area or along the
Yes, usually
circumference.
right here.
Right there. Yeah. So I love how in the certification class they teach you how to tailor that. Just like you would take, a pair of slacks or a blazer and you would take it to your tailor to have it fitted to your body, they can take wigs and have them fitted to your head shape. So that is a service that's out there. And like I said, if you have any questions, just DM me and I can hopefully with your zip code find somebody in your area that specializes in that and can help you. What style is this?
This is Sparkle, and it's
Sparkle.
Sparkle Elite does not have the lace front. It's a fully wefted wig, but look how great it looks.
So cute.
Put it on and go. And this is how I looked. How many years? Probably 40 some years, not more. I was a redhead, so
no, I was gonna talk about how you designed Raquel's pretty much signature color, the R28S.
Yes,
you designed that after your hair color.
Oh yeah, we just kept tweaking it. In fact, we're still tweaking it at this point in time. There's actually a new red out that Frank actually came up with that's more of a natural redhead with blonde in it, and I love it. It's great.
Yeah. But so fun fact, everybody watching, Teresa not only designed the original hair wrap scrunchie with hair concept, you designed the iconic glazed fire color with Raquel. Mm-hmm. I mean, the list goes on, but also the one that I always talk about is that you actually invented the wraparound ponytail. Like Ariana Grande wears it. So many celebrities wear it. A lot of other companies sell them now too. But Teresa actually invented that construction, the ponytail that looks like your actual pony with the hair wrapped around the band. So, yay!
Well, that is true. And actually, it's a funny story. I was in a brand meeting with some of our sales VPs and marketing and all of that, and they were saying, you just didn't come up with a ponytail, a wrap ponytail. So at lunch, I got so frustrated, I went to Walgreens and I ended up buying double-sided Velcro, cut a hairpiece up, sewed it onto it, mm-hmm. and by the time they came back from lunch, I said, here's your wraparound pony. And they were like,
I love that story. I love that story because I've been in some of those brand meetings, so I can totally envision how that happened.
Oh, it did.
Okay, so somebody's saying, I wish you had a better way to match color. What I love about the wig company is that any of the wig company exclusive brands, you can actually just request samples to be sent to your home for free. So let's say you want to see maybe a couple of the reds or the blondes. I mean, kind of the direction of hair color you want. Just email customer service or call us and we can send you a swatch. You can also DM me photos and email me photos. Of course, with images, it's harder to get it really like perfect, spot on. But I pride myself in that I can pretty much match you with the photo. So DM me or email me and I'll help you out.
And that's a fantastic thing they do, the wig company, is they do give you the swatches to look at. Sometimes you really don't know what it looks like until you have it in your hand. But you have to remember that not all colors are made alike either.
Exactly.
Raquel Welch, hairdo, pop, a lot of our styles, even Gabor, they're all have at least 7 to 12 different colors in one color. So that means that if you have, let's say you're a redhead, it's not going to be a flat red. You're going to have a lot of lowlights and highlights in it. That's very important because it's very softening. Especially if you're going through cancer, you always want to go through and get a warmer color of hair. Just because when you're going through cancer, you look kind of drab, you're worn out. It takes a lot of wear and tear on your body, radiation or whether chemo. So in return, if you go a warmer color, that's going to make you look brighter. And that's very important.
I love that. And maybe even just, you know, putting on just a little bit of makeup, but definitely like steering toward warmer colors versus cool tones.
Exactly, exactly. Even if your hair was, let's say, a light ash blonde, because your skin is not the same as it was before, you really need to get in those warm colors to make you look and feel healthier and prettier.
It brings a little bit more color to your skin.
It does. It does. And I think that's very important.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so you're wearing Sparkle. The gray was Sparkle Elite. So the difference is the hand-tied features.
Correct.
And then go ahead and show us another style. And then let's talk a little bit too. I know you mentioned earlier you're a 2-time cancer survivor. So can you tell us a little bit about your experience with that? And also, were you already designing wigs at the time? And how did that help or affect kind of your journey?
Actually, I was designing wigs and hair pieces at the time I got it. It was actually, and everybody that has ever had cancer can tell you exactly when it was. Mine was June of 2012. And I'll never forget, I was going in for a routine mammogram just because, you know, it was that time and I had to go. And I thought, okay, no big deal. And as I'm there, they tell me, the radiologist wants to talk to you. And I'm thinking, oh, great. Now what is it? And what ends up happening is he tells me, there's an area that we want to look at. And we're really concerned about it. So we need you to come back and have a biopsy, which I will tell you. And I don't know if some women that have been through it will know. The worst thing is you lay on your stomach and your boob, excuse my language, is hanging outside in a hole, and they're doing the biopsy. It is the most uncomfortable position you could ever believe. And they came back and said, yes, it is cancerous. We're going to have to do some more tests. So they did some more tests. I had to go see which most people don't realize, when you find out you have cancer, you have to go to your surgeon, then you have to go to an oncologist, and then you have to go to a cosmetic surgeon before you can even get anything done, which is very frustrating. But anyhow, I was very fortunate. I had fabulous doctors at Cleveland Clinic in Florida, and they really were fantastic. So I did a lumpectomy. Once the lumpectomy was done, they came back to me and they said, the margins aren't right. I guess when they take the lump out, they have to have a certain amount of margins so that it doesn't go into the other tissue.
Right.
So I had to do it the second time.
Oh, no.
And then I had 36 treatments of radiation, which was funny. I would go for radiation in the middle of the day or even early in the morning, and then I'd go to work. And it got to the point where the people at the radiation place, they knew if I came in the morning, I'd bring them cookies or cupcakes. So they always tried to make my appointment in the morning instead of the afternoon. It was funny. But then after that, 2 years later, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. And I was having trouble swallowing. I had a lump in my throat. There was a problem. So they thought it was just half of my actual thyroid, and it ended up being, when they took half of it out, a week later, I went in to have another surgery to take the rest of it out. And then, of course, I had to have iodine treatment and things like that. So thank God I'm still here. And
Yeah, what advice would you give to somebody that's maybe newly diagnosed or has a family loved one that's diagnosed? What is some advice that you can give that
Well, the
those
first thing I advise them to do is to, if they aren't comfortable with their surgeon, get a second opinion. I also advise them to go pick out a wig. Um, Too many times what happens is you wait till you lose your hair,
Mhm.
and then you think, oh God, I gotta get a wig. And the person that's helping you with getting the wig is never going to satisfy you just because it's not your hair. So
Right.
I always tell them, after 2 treatments of chemo, that is when you're going to lose your hair. And that's when I tell them that if they start losing hair in handfuls, I
Hmm.
tell them they should have it shaved off. It's much easier than pulling handfuls after handfuls each and every day.
Just like emotionally,
Exactly.
a little bit
Exactly.
easier.
That's right.
I love that tip though to start shopping for a wig before the treatments so that
Exactly.
you're kind of used to wearing the wig and you can also maybe like try a couple of styles and then decide which one is your favorite as opposed to you've already lost your hair and you have to have one. So you just maybe settle for something.
That's right. That's right. You're more apt to try something new
Hmm.
and make it an adventure and a journey rather than an episode, so to speak,
Right.
which makes a big difference.
So do you feel like you were designing wigs before you actually needed them yourself? So
Yes,
then when you started wearing them, how did that change the way that you were designing wigs? Was your mindset a little different?
it was, because when I started designing wigs and hair pieces thereafter, I was thinking of the woman that's going through the situation,
Hmm.
whether it's losing hair on top, losing hair on the crown, losing hair on the sides. In fact, the one piece that I had, the top tier, this one,
Hmm.
I designed after I had cancer because I realized that a lot of women do not have hair here. That's one of
Hmm.
the last places that it grows in. Uh,
Okay.
so I should say right here. So I made it so that it was down farther where it could clip in so
Right.
that she could wear something, even if she didn't want to wear a wig. That's
Sorry, I
right.
got paused. I was gonna say, I know too that just having worked with you, that comfort and density and just having the pieces look natural and feel comfortable is really important for you and for HairUWear. So I'm sure that kind of your experience led to that. It had to be comfortable. It had to be natural. Because I know a lot of wigs in the past, they're just so thick and
They,
so full and
mm-hmm.
itchy and like very hot. So it's not ideal for somebody going through
No,
cancer and through therapy.
and that's the reason why we always are looking for new materials so that it'll be softer to the scalp. Because we realize that when a woman goes through chemotherapy, her scalp, unfortunately, a lot of times gets very hot.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to think, how can you keep her cool, but have her look natural? And that's a lot of different things, like looking at material that keeps the moisture away from your scalp, those types of
Mm.
things. So, yeah, in fact, they laugh at me because I'll go to the lingerie department and look at the different materials, because
Mm-hmm.
those different materials can be used in wigs as well. And so I'm always looking.
Are there things that you did when you were wearing wigs and you had the sensitive scalp that maybe helped? Like any tips you can give our viewers of maybe wearing a wig cap or doing something in addition to just like taking a wig out of the box and wearing it that can help
Exactly.
when your scalp is sensitive?
Yes. Usually when your scalp is sensitive, it's very important to have a wig cap, which I was going to put on but didn't make it. That's a wig cap. But there's also other wig caps that are softer as well. There is many different things they're creating now that you can wear underneath your wig so it doesn't touch your scalp. And that's important too. So there is different things. Usually don't wear, if it starts irritating you, don't wear it for long periods of time. Get used to it slowly.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
When you're home, wear a beanie cap or something so that it's soft and it doesn't irritate your scalp. And then when you put your wig on, then it has more apt to not irritate it as much. So that always helps.
Kind of like slowly building that. I remember the first time I wore a lace front wig, I was like, I cannot believe how people wear this. It was so uncomfortable, even though they've gotten so much better now. But
they have.
At the time, I was like, I can't believe people can wear this all day. But honestly, the more I wore it, it's like, oh, now it doesn't feel so uncomfortable. No. Like it's almost like you're building that, I want to say like immunity, but you know what I mean? Like you're just getting, your skin's getting used to that being there.
It's like you build that callus, like when you play guitar.
Yes.
You get the calluses on it. And that makes a big difference. And also, we also teach that sometimes you can put Vaseline on the actual lace front, and it will soften it a little bit as well.
Oh, I like that tip too.
Yeah, yeah.
What style are you wearing right now? Because I know you changed
colors. Oh, let's see. I'm wearing Casually Chic by Toni Bratton.
Oh, I love that.
How's that?
So cute.
Totally different, right?
What color is that one? The red blonde?
Yes, it is. It's the red blonde.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. Cute. It's really cute.
I love
this other one here that you might be able to see. It's actually First Alert. It's a little bit different, but similar as far as curl pattern.
Yeah, I love that. I love the one you're wearing, and I know that I want to say it's a really affordable price range, and it doesn't have anything hand tied, but you'll notice that with the bang to the side, with the volume on top, that it just really does look really natural.
Well, and the whole thing of it is she always remembers not to get it too long in front where you can't do anything with the front. She tries to be very conscious of that when she's designing stuff. When we're designing it with her. Also, you notice I don't use a comb much or a brush.
Use the fingers.
I use the fingers because I say, you know what? The good Lord gave us fingers, and we're supposed to use them for some reason. So I think this is the best way. It makes it, I think, have you ever seen a woman where she goes like this and she makes it all straight and then it looks like a wig? But then if you put your fingers in it, look how much more natural it looks.
Definitely.
So that's what
I love that the teasing at the root is just built in. So it just kind of, you just play with it a little bit with your fingers and it pops into place.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of women look at it and say, oh, there's something wrong with my wig. See, it has all that stuff right here.
Right.
Well, that's because we tease it for you. You don't have to.
Yes. Yeah, the style in the back is Flirt Alert, but I think the price point is much higher. So this style that you're wearing is such a nice alternative if you don't want to break the bank necessarily, or maybe you're trying something out and you want to see how the color looks on you or the style. But I love that one. It looks so natural.
I like it. I like it very much. It looks very natural.
Yeah. And I would actually say any style that has like a little bit of curl or wave, using your fingers is probably the best option.
Yes, because sometimes if you use the brush, it gets frizzy type. It looks frizzy and it loses its curl. So that's when you have to spray it with water and get it to bounce back. Or you can use a leave-in conditioner or anything like that. So that helps.
Okay, so I know this is going to be a hard question for you because you have so many designs, but is there a wig or like a hairpiece or a wig right now that you would say is your favorite?
Well, other than this hair getting in my eye, my favorite.
Maybe like your all-time favorite design that's still around today. And I know a lot of them, like you designed them so long ago and we're still using them a ton now. So that's a good sign.
Well, it's funny because a lot of them were designed right when I started.
Right.
And that was, you know, I today I was looking at some pieces that I'm approving, and it was like in 2008.
Wow.
I tried my best. Well, actually, most people don't realize that HairUWear designed the halo even before it came out.
Yeah.
Even though someone else brought it out. In 2005, I had samples of halos that I was proposing. And of course, you know how it goes, Christina. You're in the brand day and you're showing everybody and they go, oh, no, I don't think that'll work. And you believe it, but sometimes you're overruled.
Yeah.
So yes, I did that. I don't know. I love the poof for the style maker just because you can change your hairstyle so easy. And everybody, as I said, everybody should have it in their purse. Because right?
How you carry an elastic or a scrunchie in your bag.
Exactly.
Just have your wraparound pony, your poof, or your stylo-do. But yeah, that's great. It's just amazing how many pieces that are still around today that you were the original designer for. And I think a lot of people don't know that, and you're so humble about it. But yeah, like you invented the wraparound pony, the stylo-do, which is like any type of scrunchie with hair on it,
right?
The halo pieces, like top pieces, so many
clip
things.
Pieces that cover the. Actually, one thing that I did differently with the claw clip is I made it so that the hair covered the claw clip and you didn't see it. For a long time, they would show it. And I was like, oh, why do you want to do that?
But you know what you do, and I think you have an example of the clip, but clip-on ponytails, and I think that's why when the wraparound pony came out, it was such a huge deal. It still is to date, because it used to be that the only way to attach a ponytail was with this huge clip that was like this long and stuck out this far from your head. So yeah, look at this clip
and this one is nice because it has flat teeth, so it lays flat to your scalp.
And where the other ones were round, right?
Right. And I don't know if I have one there, but also they were really high. And of course, when they were really high, that meant that they stuck out. If you've ever put one of them on and you try to lean back, oh, especially on the airplane, that's bad. Yes. So
but
these are really great.
Yeah, it's just an instant giveaway when it, like, you could tell in the past when somebody's wearing a pony. Plus, a lot of the synthetic colors in the past were solid, very flat tones. So tell everybody some of the color innovations that have come out with HairUWear.
Oh goodness, we've done so many different kinds. Of course, low light, highlight, that's been a long time ago. We've done recently, Frank came up with the shadow shades, which is great because it's darker at the root, lighter on the ends, but it's not so much like the black roots in the light ends. So in return, some people my age might wear it, just because it does look more natural. In fact, this one here has it. Can you see it?
Yeah, I do see that.
The darker roots and then highlighted.
There's some very subtle things that you and the design team have incorporated into pieces.
Yes.
That they're so good that you don't think about them, and that's not a negative thing. It's you don't think about them because they're just making the wig look so much better that you don't notice it. A darker root adds depth that natural light would add to your own hair. So with the synthetic wig, you might not have that depth, or even with the human hair because the color is just too solid. So adding that little bit of a base adds that dimension to make it look more realistic. So it looks like the shadow, the light is hitting it.
Oh, the light's hitting it?
No, I said it looks like the light's hitting it. Like, it just makes it look so much more natural.
Oh, yes, that's right. And you can see how many different colors it has in it. So it's definitely great. I don't know. Do you talk about lace fronts, mono parts? Okay. One of the things I love is a monopart,
Mm-hmm.
only because it makes it look more natural. And Raquel Welch, as well as Gabor, excuse me, it makes it just look so much more natural. And I'll try something new again. And when I was growing up, this was the color of my hair.
I love the highlights though. Yeah. And like you were saying, so even with hair pieces, because I know the process is more tedious
Right.
to mix in more and more colors, but the more colors you mix in, the more variety and dimension the color has. So even if it's a clip-on pony or if it's a stylo-do wrap, they have 7 to 11 shades that somebody hand blended. It just makes them look so much more natural, as opposed to it just being one flat color. And when you put it next to your hair, it's just not going to pick up the same dimension. Even if your hair was just one color, it still has a ton of shades in there, just naturally.
That's very true. That's very true. And what happens is a lot of people, they can wear 2 different colors rather than just one. Like
I
for
can.
this,
Yeah, I can wear 2.
yeah, this is a 25, which is a medium brown blonde, but I could also use one that has a darker low light in it as well, just because of my hair. Now, when you are looking to find the color for your hair, you always look, here I go again, sorry. You always look at your root. See, you always look at your root to decide what color you are. Because when you pull your hair back, guess what? That's all you see.
Exactly. Like even with my hair, it's so blonde, but if I was to slick it back, I have so much brown because of my roots, which I need to get them done. But just even when I have them done, I have so much brown. So with my HairUWear color, like this color here is very light, so it's like a 1488H. But if I pull my hair back, it's really dark. So I typically go for buttered toast because it has the brown in it too. But I could do both. And when you look at them in the box, or like you see both ponies, you're like, there's no way that the same person can use both of them.
And you know what you could also do? You can also, like with a wrap, you can also take a darker one and a light one and mix them together. I love doing that. Yeah. So that way it makes it look more natural as well.
Okay, what style is this one?
This is Muse.
Muse. I love this style.
I did too. I said it was, totally different than any of the others we had. And I was like, oh, I like this. I think this is cute. And I went back to the gray, but it doesn't look like a gray. It looks more blonde than it is gray. It's the, what is it? The gradient smoke, which by the way, silver is in. Let's just face facts. Everybody wants to be silver smoke, whatever. And these are great wigs because they give you that color that you don't have to worry about. Because a lot of times gray hair isn't white. A lot of times gray hair is yellow due to your water. Whether you have well water or whatever. So this takes it away.
I love that style. And I love the density of it because it doesn't have like a lot of height to it. And I think that's also due to the actual construction of the cap. So the inside I always say the inside reflects the outside. They go hand in hand because the way that it's made on the inside is going to determine how it looks on the outside, whether it has teasing at the root or if it's going to have a natural hairline, things like that.
And there, see, isn't it?
So cute.
I just
I know you don't even have a mirror. So it's just, that's what I love about synthetic wigs and hair pieces. You can just literally put them on and just kind of finger style. You don't have to be a stylist.
No, you don't.
You have to be an expert at doing your hair. If anything, if you're not good at doing your own hair, wigs are such an asset and such a tool because they're already cut. They're already styled.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And the one thing, when you're going through cancer treatment, or if you've been sick for some other reason, you don't want a wig that you have to take a lot of care of. Synthetic wigs are the easiest. They're lightweight. Human hair is heavier than synthetic, which a lot of people don't understand. And when you're not feeling good, the last thing you want to do is say, oh, I've got to wash this and curl it and everything else, because that's what you have to do with human hair. So I always recommend that you have a synthetic alternative, because that's very, very important. And I usually say at least get 2 wigs, if not 3, you know, just because of that.
And that's an interesting point, because I know you were already working, you know, designing wigs, and you pretty much could make yourself whatever you wanted. And I think the instant thought with most, you know, people that are going to buy a wig is that human hair is the best. It's going to look the most natural. I can't afford it, but I need to try to buy it anyway. But so you had pretty much any wig at your disposal. Did you choose to wear synthetic wig most of the time? Or
yes, definitely. Definitely. There was no way I was going to have human hair wig at that point in time. I think maybe if I had not gotten my hair back, then I would have said, maybe I will. But because of that, I did not. I love the versatility of the synthetic.
Yeah, definitely. And so talk to us a little bit about regular synthetic versus heat friendly. What are some pros and cons in your opinion?
Okay, the regular synthetic is thicker in diameter.
Okay.
And unfortunately, if there's just a little bit too much hair, it's hard to move back and forth. It's not pliable. With the new heat stylable, it's lighter. It can be curled or flat ironed, which was, you know, sometimes you get, let's say you open the box and there's hair that sticks up like this, and you think, oh no, what am I going to do with this? Well, now you could just take your flat iron, no more than 300 degrees.
Disclaimer.
and actually bring it so that it looks more natural. So I think that that's the best part about it. And finally, they're getting more colors, because, you know, the old synthetic colors had, I think, 50, 70, I don't know how many different colors. And the new fibers didn't. So we had to keep pushing. I need a new one. I need a new one. I need a new color, you know. And finally, they're getting to that point. And they're actually looking at, excuse me, just a moment. They're even looking at fiber that acts like human hair. You're going to hear things about protein fiber and stuff like that. It's not perfected yet. We'll see. When it is,
it's hopeful. I know that the technology keeps getting better and better. So
yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Somebody said, oh man, I've done some damage with the straightener.
Haven't we all?
Right.
Or the curling iron. And that's one thing, when you're curling the new synthetic, you have to make sure that you put it on the curling iron, no more than 300 degrees.
Right.
And you roll it like this. You let it get warm, which I usually go 1001, 1002, 1003 to about 10. Then you take the curling iron out, and then you have to clip it so that the curl will stay. If you don't clip it, it's not going to stay.
Yeah. So you have to heat it up enough, and then cool it down enough. You know what I have found, just, you know, from doing so many wigs at the salon when I was styling them, is if you spray a little dry shampoo first, it helps me curl it better.
Yes.
Like, it actually holds it almost even without cooling it completely. So you can just, like, I'll hold it in the palm of my hand. Just if you're sensitive, just wear like a heat protectant glove, but just put a little dry shampoo, put it on your curling iron for, you know, maybe 5 seconds. It reminded me of Friends when Ross is counting Mississippi. I don't know if we have any Friends fans in the audience, but I love that episode. But just 5 seconds, let it heat up enough, and then just hold it in your palm for maybe another 5 to 10 seconds, and it's like a curl, like your own hair.
And I'm sorry.
It stays like that. I was going to say, it stays like that even after you wash it.
Exactly. So if you want it the original way, you've got to do something all over again. One of the things I also wanted to mention is sometimes people think the fiber looks shiny. Well,
Mm-hmm.
first of all, we'd love to have this shiny hair.
Yeah, definitely.
Because most human hair doesn't look that good. But what you can do is you can use a dry shampoo. I use talcum powder once in a while, but we aren't going to tell anybody. It does the same thing. So that's something to keep in mind as well.
And that does wear off with time. Like
Yes, it does.
It's kind of like you're like when you're wearing clothes and you wash it and it starts to, like, you know, the colors fade a little bit. That shine also fades a little bit with.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
So let's talk a little bit. I know we're getting close to the hour, but let's talk a little bit about some of the ways that you have been able to help other women through HairUWear. I know obviously designing wigs is such a huge contribution, but what are some other things that you've done?
Well, I've been very fortunate to be involved in Breast Cancer Wellness magazine. And Breast Cancer Wellness they're going to be having their 16th or 15th cruise come next year. I'll be there.
Yay.
And
safely without
safely. That's right. And I guess it was about 2 or 3 years ago, they asked me if I would do makeovers on some of the people that were going on the cruise. And so they chose 10 people, and myself, I can't begin to tell you how many wigs and hairpieces I brought. Oh, wow. But I brought those and I did makeovers. And we also had a makeup artist there. And it was amazing, the difference. I mean, there was one girl that had gray hair, and I put her in a red hair. I put her in this color of red, and she loved it. Everybody was just shocked at the difference and how natural everything looked. So I was very fortunate to be part of that. And then I also did a class while we were on the cruise, and you know me, put on hair pieces, take off hair pieces, put on wigs. So I did that, and it was amazing how many people didn't realize what products are available to them that they could use before, during, and after. So it was a great experience. It was really a great experience.
So what do you have some after tips, like for women that, you know, they're done with their treatments, their hair is starting to grow back? What are some pieces that you like to use or incorporate during that kind of like transitional period?
Right. Well, it depends on how much hair they end up having. Sometimes it takes a while for them to come back, but I would do top of head pieces right away. Or bangs, you know, because that's the very first thing. You look at yourself and say, oh, I don't have any bangs. What am I going to do? You know, and you could wear actual bangs, which I had a pair here. Oh, well, anyhow, those are the types of things I would probably do, is be the top of the head pieces. You can do extensions, but if your scalp is still sore, you don't want to do that. You don't.
I've personally have met so many women, and I'm sure you have as well, that even after their hair grows back, they still wear wigs.
Oh,
not for necessity, but because of they fall in love with them, the convenience, the ease of styling. And when, you know, sometimes you may look at the price tag of a wig and think it's very high. Right. But when you think about how high it is to get your hair cut, get your hair colored, if you have, you know, grays coming in, how often do you have to touch up your roots? So it's like wigs really are a solution for anyone. Exactly.
And what's great about it is if you do color your hair and you can't get to the hairdresser, put a top of a head.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever going to know.
The clip and bangs. I love that.
That's right. The clip and bangs or this piece here, you know, just clip it in. Nobody's ever going to know.
Right.
So there's a lot of alternatives.
I know you can't spill too many secrets, but what are some future design things that we can all look forward to in this industry? What are some things that you see kind of coming out later, maybe?
Oh, I always different colors, new techniques, those types of things. You know, the old story goes, I used to tell people that we had to get our daughters into hair pieces, and as you know, I have a granddaughter that's 30 now. Oh my goodness. And, and she used to have a hair bag. And every time she turned around, if she was going anywhere, she had to take her hair bag with her. So I think that we are looking at trying to introduce pieces that attract the younger, as well as I think that there'll be new colors, new hair pieces, maybe hair pieces for hats or ponytails or those types of things. We'll see.
I know. And I know that you have seen like such a 360 with how I know that there were some hair pieces when I first started working with wigs that kind of phased out and then they're coming back. Like even like the, you know, the falls,
Oh yes.
the crown pieces,
Oh yes.
falls with
Oh,
the
yeah.
headbands on them,
Mm-hmm.
and are so big. So it's interesting to see how things kind of like, just like with fashion, things kind of make a full circle and they come back.
Exactly. Whatever was old fashioned is going to come around before you know it.
Even like, okay, so this is one example. So chunky highlights, I know that they're back in.
Yes,
And
they're back in.
for a long time at HairUWear, they were kind of, we still have chunky highlights, but we had to kind of phase them out. And now it's like, wait, they're back. So
well, yeah, because if they come in chunky, we would say, oh, that's not right. You got to slightly blend it. You know, it's not right. It looks like stripes, you know, but now it's changing. So as fashion changes, hair changes too. Colors, styles, whatever.
So I know we're going to run out of time a little bit. So my last question for you, you're such a positive, like this bright light. Anybody that's around you can't help but be happy and smile. Even with everything that you've gone through, like what is something that helps you just be so happy and positive all the time?
Well, let's see. When I was very young, my mother gave me a book called The Power of Positive Thinking, and by Norman Vincent Peale. And that's how I've always lived my life. Things can go bad, but I always have hope. And right now, if I get it done, I'm writing a book called Hope. And it's called Healing Ourselves Through Positive Energy. And I think your attitude on how you go through life is so important. And you know, the old saying goes, I always see the glass half full, not half empty. Right. And I always believe if there's a will, there's a way. You know, I wear a ring on my finger that one of my childhood friends gave me. And it says, if God takes you to it, he'll get you through it. And that's exactly how I live my life. God's always been with me from the time I was small until now, and he still is. And in fact, I got baptized this year. I was not baptized when I was younger because my parents said, oh, you don't know what you're doing. And so this year I got baptized. So I was really excited.
I think you're just I know everybody that has worked with you or can attest to what I'm saying, that you're just always smiling, you're always happy. And that doesn't mean that you're not going through difficult times. It's just, like you said, it's just your positive attitude and your outlook. And I think that is such a true test of like what HairUWear brings to women is, you know, positive solutions, things that maybe take a negative situation and just add a little bit of happiness to it. And wigs do that. And that's why I love them so much. And I know that's why you love them so much. You've seen women's face light up when they put that wig on, and there's nothing that compares to that.
No, there isn't. I mean, and the whole thing of it is you use less muscles to smile than you do to frown. So I always
you burn calories too. You burn calories when you're smiling. When you laugh, you burn some calories.
That's right.
Well, we're right at the hour, Teresa. We could talk probably the rest of the night, you and I.
Yes, we could.
Teresa and I have actually just, for those who don't know, we've been all the way to China together. To China and back.
China and back. Experience. That's right.
Yes, but so you're just so amazing, so positive, so inspiring. You've really made this industry what it is, and I mean that when I say it. Your work is just a testament of everything that you do. Thank you so much for joining us today.
It's my pleasure. Anytime you want me.
I know we're gonna have you back to give us more tips. But
Okay,
thank you everybody who tuned in. Happy Tuesday. Have an amazing rest of the week. Check out the giveaway. The wig company will post more about it later today and tomorrow. So just be on the lookout for that. And then also be on the lookout for our 11th episode, which is going to be next month. So thank you so much. Thank you again, Teresa.
Thank
you everybody
Christina.
that joined us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.